2022.
So this topic, we were talking about the differences of the movie-going experience when we were kids in the 80s.
Yes.
And what it's like now to go to the theater.
Right.
We've talked several times on this show before about our little favorite local movie theaters when we went to the Americana Twin Theater, also known as Showcase Cinema, which is now, I believe, an auto parts store.
Yes, it is.
But
that's exactly what it
but
is.
back in the day, that's where if you wanted to go see a movie for a quarter, that's where you went.
Yes.
Dude, what kind
double
of
feature Wednesday, 75 cents.
It was such a shack the entire time. It was such a small, tiny little thing, and they're like, "What is this?" And how is this a twin movie theater? But it totally was.
Because
was.
It had two theaters, and they weren't exactly the same.
My parents loved it. There was that big window facing the side where you drive into the parking lot.
Right.
Yeah.
So if we and my brother were to see a rated R movie, she didn't have to get out of the car. She would just wave from the car, and they'd let me in.
And if I could remember correctly, the concession stand blocked one theater from the other, so you couldn't even cross to the other theater without going outside.
You had to go outside.
You had to go outside, or you could go up. Yeah, there were. If you worked there, you could go up the staircase and then down the staircase.
Oh, if you worked there, no. I remember not being able to cross the other side.
Right.
You'd have to go out the door and go outside to go to the other side.
And, well, one time I went to the movies there, and it was Cobra and Commando were playing for 75 cents.
Cobra Commando.
I see what you did there.
I didn't even. That was totally. All right, but we went in, and they weren't counting the tickets.
Right.
So there were so many people in the theater that me and my brother were sitting in the aisle, laying down, watching the movie. Every seat was taken.
See, kids?
And the aisles were full.
That's what it used to be like. You could actually create a fire hazard at a movie theater.
That's right. And the floors in the aisle were cleaner than the seats. You're like, is that gum dry? Can I sit here? Is that gum dry?
I was not old enough to see a movie that I saw there. Let's see that the ones that you saw, the double feature were rated R.
Yeah,
I saw Fright Night and Return of the Living Dead.
Ooh, that's
both good. Damn near X-rated. Those are both some R-rated flicks.
You have to come over to my house often because my parents would let you in too.
Yeah, I'm saying, man, but they didn't care.
They say the Americana, they didn't care very much. Like the mall theater would tell you no about shit all the time, but the Americana, the only time I ever got told no there was like they had a special. You must be 18 or with somebody to see Eddie Murphy Raw, and I'm pretty sure I got John to get me in there. So it was me and Pat. I said, John, tell him we were 18. You were 18 at the time. Yeah, so you got to play your mom's role that day.
I was a huge Eddie Murphy fan back then.
Oh man, back then, still,
yeah, I do still like those movies, but I can't say there's much he's made since Bowfinger. I really enjoyed Bowfinger.
We've had this conversation on this very show, and I made the exact same point. Discounting the Shrek movies and other voiceover work, Bowfinger to me was like his last great thing that he did.
When he ran across that freeway?
No, Jesus, oh my God.
Heavenly God.
Heavenly God. Okay, now we're going to roll the cameras. Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
No, those guys are all stunt drivers. I think you're doing great.
Gotta make sure those pencils are sharp. Good.
He has it. What's the last time he made he made that serious film last year? I don't even know what his last comedy was that wasn't kid based. Nutty Professor or whatever.
Bowfinger definitely was a kid based. Those jokes.
Yeah, I think that was the last R-rated.
17, 18 years ago already.
Yeah, that was.
Don't say that, Frank. It makes you feel old.
Yeah.
Feel it. It was 1999 when that came out.
Was it? Okay, yeah. That's damn near 20.
Wow.
Well, we're going to go off of the Americana Theater, and we're going to go to a theater
we're already done with Americana.
I will throw one more thing in about that.
Okay,
You're talking about the twin sides and the stairs. The first time I went there, I was probably 11 and I didn't know anybody there yet, so I just went by myself like, yeah, this is cool. And I went in and I bought the ticket, and they're like, oh, the other side of the place is where the movie I was trying to see is, but I'd already bought the ticket, so they're like, well, fuck, you're here now. So there was like no, they were
Wow.
gonna switch, you know.
No comes back.
So on that day, I saw my first R-rated film and instead of large screen breasts. So it was good. So thanks for that mistake, there, people. You know.
Awesome. There you go.
Yeah,
The one thing they wouldn't let me go to the side where the PG movies were, so I just had to stay and watch those R-rated films. Like, all right, cool.
That is absolutely crazy.
That's a nice.
But I did want to mention that at the Americana Twin, at that point, it had been taken over by Showcase Cinema.
Right.
Same exact place, though, same building.
Yeah.
That was the first time I was at a movie theater shooting.
Yeah.
My brother and I were watching Menace to Society.
Yep.
And I took him, and he was a young buck. I think he was probably like maybe 10 or 11. I can't remember.
Right.
But we were watching Menace to Society, and he was worried the whole time because he had heard about these shootings and
in
stuff
the movie. Yep.
that happened in the movie. I said, man, that happens in like L.A. and
L.A., York, Chicago, New York, Detroit.
That ain't gonna happen in Fairfield. Yeah. We sitting in there, and the shots rang out.
Yeah.
And he was all, my brother's quite the bitch, so he was crying. And we was, I said, just stay down and be quiet because you can't be over here sobbing.
Yeah. Oh boy.
My other great experience, I saw Cool World and Poison Ivy double feature, 75 cents.
Yes. Per movie?
No, for the double
feature.
I know. I just wanted people to know it was 75 cents to see two movies on a big screen. That's crazy. Love it.
Sometimes they did a triple feature. Yeah. If you were a real glutton for punishment, and you want to stay in those terrible seats.
Well, you could stay all day. I mean, I remember it was Back to the Future and Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I'd go at like 10 a.m. and leave at 6 p.m. and I've watched both movies 3 times, or 2 times a piece. So,
I would say just now, this is again talking on a small scale about watching our movies in the 80s.
Yes,
but the big theaters at that time were downtown Fairfield Cinema 1 and 2.
We had 5 theaters, and that's including a drive-in. And
then we had the drive-in theater.
Yeah, Chief Cinemas right next to the drive-in.
That's right. That's 4. And then the Americana. 5 theaters in Fairfield.
Yeah.
I mean,
but then when General Cinema came in, that pretty much, because General Cinema, it was 6. It was a multiplex.
Yeah, that was the one where the Sears place is now, right? Right.
Actually,
in the middle of the
24-hour fitness.
Oh, okay.
That was the actual.
The funny part about that is that, and Frank will attest to this. Remember when the drive-in blew down?
Oh yeah,
I do.
I think I was off in the military then.
No, it was.
What year was that?
Did it happen in the 80s?
Because it was.
Yeah,
that was 1990. I bet you. I think
I was
maybe when he left.
Yeah, I was away 90 to 95.
Okay,
that may have happened like the year you left.
Because I can't remember if it happened in the wintertime or if it was, I can't remember if it was 90 going into 91 or if it was 89 going into 90.
Dude, my family saw a lot of movies there.
I think,
91, our senior years. I remember we went to see like 48 Hours too, another 48 Hours at the Chief Cinemas, and the drive-in had not been gone very long. There was still debris. So if we look up when that came out, it's about the same time.
Yeah,
another exactly when it came out. Yeah. 1990, because at Christmas I was at boot camp. He went and rented another 48 Hours and played it for the platoon.
Right. So another 48 Hours came out in '89 because I remember seeing the the trailer for Ford Fairlane, which came out in '90, or was it early '90?
I think it was.
Ford Fairlane
movie release dates is not my.
That's usually my thing.
That's my numbers. I don't know, but I do know we had just moved. There was an apartment complex at the end of North Texas called
Salishan. Yeah,
and we had just moved there, and I do remember that the movie theater, the drive-in theater, had got blown down. It was blown down. So I think that was that year that we moved there. So I think it was that 90, 91 more as opposed to 89, 90.
Right. Makes sense.
Because I do.
Yeah. And Chief Cinemas.
Fairfield Wind.
Yes, definitely. Chief Cinemas. I believe they had 6 theaters.
Before we move off the drive-in, I went there with my family many times, but the only movie I remember seeing at that drive-in was the Bad News Bears Go to Japan.
I
definitely remember that. I think it's the last time we went.
Yeah.
I know.
At the Howard Johnson's there all the time. That was like my parents' spot. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna.
Oh my God!
The
Every time
Hojo
we would drive up there, it'd be like, you hoping, like, am I going to see some gigantic boobs on the way there today or not? There's always like a 10% chance of something cool being on that giant screen.
I completely forgot there was a Howard Johnson's there.
For the longest time, it was closed longer than it was open. I bet.
Yeah, and wasn't Muffin Tree? What was that? The
Muffin Tree.
Coffee Tree?
Muffin Tree?
I thought it was a Coffee Tree.
Coffee Tree. Maybe you're right.
Yeah, I think it was a Coffee Tree.
By the Howard Johnson. Yeah, I think you're right.
Well, speaking
both, but
Speaking of the drive-in, I had a traumatic experience there. My mom, God rest her soul, was really into horror movies, and that's the reason why I'm into horror movies now, most likely. Anyway, I remember being a kid, going to see a double feature, a movie called The Gates of Hell, paired up with what's the other movie that's escaping me right now? But anyway, it was my first delving into Italian horror. If you know anything about Fulci or any other Italian cinema auteurs, you will know that they really go for broke in their horror movies. It is some awful shit. And I was supposed to be asleep in the backseat of the car. Mom didn't want to pay for a goddamn babysitter. So I was there watching a woman puke up her guts.
It was not good.
It wasn't good.
Hey, when I was little,
scary stuff.
My parents had more money when we were little. My daddy got hurt, but they had all the pay channels. And when The Shining came out on HBO,
oh yeah,
she let us watch it. That movie gave me nightmares for at least 10 years. As it should. Yeah. There's two twins. Come play with it, Daddy. Come play with us forever.
Point of fact, those weren't girls though.
Did you guys Ready Player One already? You saw that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that.
That quoting in there, that just the reference to that was enough for my kid to be like, "What is going on here? I'm not sure I like this."
Yeah.
You know, I think it frightened me the most about that movie was the kid was so young.
Yeah.
Usually kids and on the ball. Here's a 6 or 7-year-old getting chased by an axe murderer. That was disturbing.
That was probably a lot of
really
that to relax him first.
Oh my!
But I want to jump real quick to recent history, and I want to say I don't know about you guys, but my first experience watching a movie in IMAX. I want to say we were at it was crazy. I think we were at Great America.
That's where I saw it.
And they had this one big IMAX, huge. It was IMAX, and it was like a kind of a short clip documentary on something about going to something in the Arctic region.
Penguins or something.
Yeah, remember? No, it wasn't penguins. It was breaking through the ice, and they were just doing all this stuff about this new frontier, blah 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 blah. But it was just so they can show these great sweeping landscapes with the ice and the icebergs and stuff, and the boat crashing through. And I just remember that experience of watching this IMAX, and I was just sitting back, and it was just so much visual stimulation. And then when they first said that they were going to do a movie in an actual movie in IMAX, even though I guess it'd been coming out for a while. I mean, I think what was not Captain Planet. What was his thing?
Oh, Captain EO.
Captain EO. Wasn't that
that was 3D.
Was it 3D?
Yeah, I remember it was in 3D. It may have also been in IMAX.
I know it was in Florida.
IMAX was around for a long time, because they had the Detroit Science Center here, which used to the school field trip would be to go down there and watch the IMAX, sharks underwater or exploring ancient tombs and stuff like that.
And I want to say at the
IMAX
planetarium.
Sharks underwater thing, I barfed all over the place in 3rd grade. They didn't like that very much.
You guys are all about to get jealous. Guess what IMAX movie they had when I went to Great America? First time I saw it IMAX.
What's that?
It was the making of the new version of the Star Wars movies.
Whoa!
And they redid the entire intro to Star Wars in IMAX. Mm-hmm. So we watched the small ship, and here comes the huge Star Destroyer coming down on it.
Oh yeah.
And we were in the Marines, and they said they couldn't. They out in the desert, they tried to pay extras to play the stormtroopers, and they kept passing out.
Yes,
with the stormtrooper outfit. So they said, "This is what we did," and it showed. They said, "Cut," and the Marines took off their helmets. The stormtrooper helmets. They were all Marines. So we borrowed these Marines from 29 Palms. So those were Marines, not in the original, but when they
prequel.
No, not the prequels.
Oh, when they
not
redid
the prequels, when they redid the trilogy,
the original
those
trilogy.
were Marines from 29 Palms. And I was stationed 29 Palms.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to go on record as saying that I hate the additional stuff when on the re-releases.
Why is that?
Because I'm a hater.
Okay.
Because it
Bro,
doesn't.
join the club.
It doesn't match the original, and it was not part of your memory that you spent 15 to 25 years. You know.
Why is there a dewback walking
Right.
funkily on sand with a weird-looking stormtrooper on its back? That was not in the original.
I tell you, the only thing that really disappointed me was the cantina scene.
Yeah.
Because when I first saw the cantina scene, I was blown away.
Yeah.
That knocked my socks off. I could not believe it. I wish they would have replayed it 10 times.
Satan was in there, an astronaut.
Yeah.
How are you going to redo that scene? That's terrible. And what a spit in the face to those genius special effects guys who put together that scene.
Right.
It blew me away. And I just did not want that touched.
And I just want to go back retro real quick, slightly, reeling it back. My first 3D movie I didn't experience in a movie theater. I actually experienced it at home.
Yeah.
We were in New York. I remember I was at my grandparents' house in New York. And it was like on just the regular channel, but they were having, it was a 3D movie. They would.
You had to go to 7-Eleven.
You had to go get the 3D glasses, and they were going to be airing it at like 6 o'clock.
I remember.
And I want to say, Creature
of the Black Lagoon.
Was it Creature of the Black Lagoon? That's what I was like. I want to say it was Creature of the Black Lagoon, and it was the old school red and blue.
Yeah.
Like my kids don't know nothing about the red and blue.
Yeah, now they got the cool looking ones.
Yeah. But you're sitting there. You do not have.
Frank,
we watched that with the glasses. We moved forward. We moved back.
Yeah.
Nothing was 3D. We were so pissed. We were looking forward to it. I'm like, this isn't working.
Do I have them on the right eyes? This is whack.
You might be
it was our crappy TV.
Maybe.
Yeah, it was your.
It didn't work for shit when they played it through the TV. I think that was just a lie that they wanted us to go pick up stuff at 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
You say that, but I swear to God, in my head, I remember because that was like 3D, and it's like here's and they would go, and you're like, ah.
Oh, maybe you had better reception because you were in New York and we were in the suburbs. That could be.
Yeah, maybe.
If you had a sharp, clear picture, maybe it worked just fine.
Possibly.
We had the ugly small squiggle picture.
Yeah, because definitely at my mama's house, we had a huge like 36-inch screen TV.
Oh yeah.
That didn't work, but we had a 19-inch on top.
That did work.
That did work.
I have a 36-inch TV now.
We had a big one that didn't work. Actually, it was probably like a 27-inch, but with all that, it was like a piece of furniture.
Yeah, it was
with
all
that
extra
console
TV. We had a console. You remember, Rob?
Yes.
We had a console TV, non-working, with the functional TV on top.
Functional TV on top, but only kind of functional because we had vice grips on the channel changer.
Yeah.
Remember that big ass console TV we had? Like when the last few years I was there, it was huge. It's actually in some of those Adonis videos where it's like it was big enough to hold the old 70s VCR, a potted plant, a bunch of stuff, some books, and some things. Like, wow, all this stuff just sitting on the TV. Of course,
we had this
4 minutes to warm up in the morning, but
Kids don't know anything about setting stuff on the TV now because your TV is either on the wall or it's this thing.
You can't put nothing on it.
Matchstick on it.
But they can put stuff on the entertainment center, and my wife that's her biggest pet peeve. Actually, her biggest pet peeve is the boys pissing directly on the floor. But outside, I tell her they're aiming for the water. Well, we have one daughter, but
okay, you do
one daughter.
So it's
five boys, one
seriously
girl.
outnumbered by the boys then. Yeah. So
that's a rough
one.
Yeah.
A lot of
and Tiara's like,
we
it's
get
never
this thing
her.
here about how you guys keep leaving the seat up. And I get falling and it's cold and it's wet. Like, well, right, but like when I go to use the toilet, I look and you move the seat according to what I need. Why don't you take a look first? Like, well, fuck you, you're stupid. Like, no, seriously, do you have to maybe look before you sit?
Yeah,
that's why a woman will never be president.
See, they are outnumbered because both things that they have to do require them to sit. That's all it is.
So you always
that's it.
It's a very serious issue, though. I remember staying the night at friends, and I got woken up at 3 a.m. Grabbed me and face this close. Please put the seat down.
And that's when you say, "It wasn't me. I pissed in the sink."
It's just funny.
It was the one.
It was funny though how polite she was. Would you please put the seat down? Even though she grabbed me in a death grip.
Yeah.
And,
That's the lady who's just had a wet ass 5 seconds earlier. Yeah, I just I close the entire thing now. I say, okay, watch this. Everyone who uses it has to lift it up now.
There you go. Yeah, that's it.
And that's why the boys piss on the floor, because by the time they have their dicks out, all they're trying
to walk in with their dick out.
Walk in with dick out. They're little kids. They drop their pants from the living room. They start dropping.
They penguin from the living room to the bathroom. Are you kidding?
Ass out.
Wow.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? No. See, you had all daughters, so you don't even know nothing about that.
I don't. And I piss in the sink.
Now, going now into very recent times. I only just recently. I know Frank. I know you've done it probably several times. But recently, I remember the movie. I took my daughter to go see American Sniper, and it was the first time I got to sit in those big comfy recliner chairs, and they bring the food out to you and everything.
Yeah,
that was. Now I work graveyard shift, so for me, that was a nightmare. I laid down and I said, "Oh no, it's too comfy."
I know.
I said, "I really wasted my money. I'm about to take a big nap."
Yeah, I only fell asleep once during a movie, and it was that new Jennifer Lawrence Red Sparrow thing. Awful movie. I took a nice 20-minute nap, and I felt like I didn't miss much.
I cannot sleep in the theater because my snoring can bring down the walls of Jericho. And I fell asleep. I kept
break the wall down.
I was seeing Wonder Woman. I just see, but I was really tired.
Yeah.
And I kept falling asleep, and the people were all looking at me pissed. And I got up. I had to walk out.
Is there absolutely nothing worse than being excited to see a movie, but you're too tired to see it?
Yeah, that's the worst. That's the one thing about going to see Midnights when Kurt worked at a theater.
Yeah,
is when
getting tired, boss.
It was what was that movie that we went to see? The River Wild with Kevin Bacon and Meryl Streep. Oh my God,
I fell asleep. Movie. I woke up. I said, "This guy's still on."
God, we saw a special screening of it. This is trash.
Yeah.
What is it? Watchmen.
Yeah.
And they started playing the Jimi Hendrix, The Watchtower.
Yes.
And everybody thought the credits were about to roll.
Nope.
And the credits didn't roll. The whole audience was like, "Oh,
yeah,
it's not over yet."
Not over.
The director's cut is 3+ hours, and the regular one was 2.5. Still good though.
It's just timing. If they had made that movie now, it would have wound up being 3 2-hour movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They left enough out that they could have stretched it that far, but they didn't want to give him money to make what he made. So
I know, yeah, and they didn't want to alienate the audiences. Audiences will go see any goddamn thing, man.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, that was actually the first time. No, I was about to say the first time I saw Zack Snyder. It might have been the first Zack Snyder.
300
movie.
came out.
Was 300 before that?
Yeah.
Then that was the first one. I actually thought, like, as far as visually speaking, I thought the guy is a master. Like, visually, his movies look great.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They look great.
Yeah. What was the movie with the girls inside of the
Sucker Punch?
Oh my God, that shit's awful.
It looked good.
It looked good, but that was trash.
I was like, "What's going on here?"
I don't know. Is it a dream? Is it
care.
Yeah, I know.
I don't care.
You didn't make me care about the character.
I don't care about any other one.
That's what you got to do.
I don't care about anything. But again, trying to go swinging back to when we were kids and we would go to, again, Americana movie theater was right down the block from our house. So
Yes,
that was a quick walk. We'd walk to 7-Eleven, get snacks.
We could all meet there from separate houses.
That was the one that was right at the end of
Texas?
East Tabor and North Texas.
Oh, Easter, yeah. I went there a lot, but I had to walk.
We
That was a
walked-
journey
we-
from
we-
my
we-
house.
we had to walk. Yeah, because that was right down the block for us. Now the big walk for us,
Take the trail.
when we had to take the trail to go to the mall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
the trail's closed now. You see that? They fenced off part of it.
Yeah, part of it's closed near
I haven't taken the trail
where I
in
used to live, near
25
Nightingale.
years
Yeah.
or more. Shit. Last time I walked.
They're down past your house. I think it's Spider-Man. The
Oh,
old house.
Nice.
The one on Nightingale?
What street did you live on when we used to walk to school together?
Nightingale.
Nightingale? Yeah,
Yep.
I don't remember this.
Where were you before that? San Marco before that? Was that the one?
San Marco.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where I first.
That's when we met.
San Marco.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Good memory.
Because you was on San Marco and I was on East Tabor.
East
So I
Tabor.
was off of Claybank, Sander Lane.
Yep.
Ooh, you was
That was a
down.
long
He was
walk.
yeah.
That was a
He was
haul,
in-
dude. Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
It was a long haul. I walked
It
to
was
school.
quick to go to Grange, right?
Grange was great. I said Fairfield High wasn't so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we used to get there an hour early to play basketball.
Damn
So
right.
I was waking up at like 5
6,
a.m.
yeah.
Trying to stay awake.
Yep.
But yeah, that was good times. So until
Definitely.
school started.
So
Yeah.
theaters nowadays, you can sit at a theater and when you buy a ticket, now you're buying a ticket and you're buying a seat. And not
Yeah.
only are you buying a seat, but now they can bring food to you.
Yeah.
Not just like popcorn and
But
whatever, but
a
food, an
meal.
actual meal. And
I'm
now
not
in the
talking about
movie theater, you
paper
can get
cup.
a
I'm talking about like
you can get a glass of beer.
Damn right.
Yeah.
In Napa, you can get alcohol.
You can get a glass of beer.
In
brought to you.
Vegas, all the theaters are like that. You
Yeah,
can't
we're not-
find
we're
a
not there
theater
yet.
that doesn't have luxury seats, beer and wine.
Now,
Yeah.
I remember, not to really date the show like this, but when they first brought in, I believe it was Galaxy Gate brought in Vacaville, brought in stadium seating.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sure.
And that was like
That was
that
huge.
that made all the difference in the
Yeah,
world.
everybody could see.
It was like every
So,
seat was a
episode 1.
good seat. 'Cause back in the day, there was premier seating, and then there was everywhere else in the theater fucking sucked balls.
Yeah. I always sit in the same place, all the way at the top, middle. That's
You
me.
know what? You always sit is on the aisle. Because that way, if the theater's filled, I got no one on this side.
I like to sit
Where?
handicap seating.
That is a good place.
I
That's a
like
good
to
spot.
sit there. Now, when we went to go see, it's funny, we went to go see
Yeah.
Infinity Wars, and me and my family, this is where we like to sit, handicap seating.
They're
We're
all
sitting
all
there.
spread out.
All spread out. We got our stuff. We're having a good old time. I like to watch the movie like I'm at my house. I want to be out right in front.
on
I
a
wanna
flat floor, nobody in front of me.
sit. Yeah,
God.
nothing. People walk by there always like, excuse me. I'm like, yeah, hurry up, move out the way. So then fucking handicap person comes
Damn, unbelievable.
and we look over and they give us the look. They give us the look like you guys are sitting in the pier spots. And I'm like,
Did you tell them to move on?
no, I looked at him like, yeah, there's a spot for you over here and your handler.
Wow.
And then
The worst part about it is they were sitting in the handicap seats closest to the entrance.
yeah, like it was nice.
1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. Those seats.
We took the
7,
best
8,
ones.
9, 10 were open.
So we're
Wow.
sitting there. It was all nice. And then my son, because when the family did get a little tinge of maybe we should move.
Yeah.
And my son goes, man, Dad, if another handicapped person comes in, we might have to move our seats. I look down to the side and I kind of nonchalantly like, look, there's seats over there for the handicap. If he wants it, there's one more. I was like, what's the chances of another handicapped person coming in and another goddamn handicapped person coming in? And they took up, and again, we're sitting out there like picnic style caddies were.
Yeah.
And they came in and they was giving us the look as they had to go past us to
Yeah.
go all the way down to the real shit handicap seat.
Oh,
And I was like, roll your hand over there. because I'm about to watch the Avengers and I need to see it right here.
Wow. And then he told his son to go to the restroom and fake a limp on the way out.
Actually, the handler, there wasn't enough room. It was only room for the handicapped person. His handler had to sit up.
Sit up a row.
Yeah, had to sit
well,
up
you know what? Truth be told, that is a better place for the handler to be because he could see if he started rolling forward or something. Because if you're in the movie, you couldn't see him roll forward. But if you're in front of him, you were the one who made him sit over there.
Lock the brake before you.
What if he didn't lock the brake?
You locked the brake because I wasn't gonna help him.
Brake.
Oh my God, that's terrible. And you went for a second bucket of popcorn.
You're goddamn right. I can walk.
The jackassery never quits.
And we go flash forward 25 years and we see the karmic value of what he just discussed, right? Kurt rolling his ass up there. 52, bitter old man.
So he's got a voice box and a wheelchair.
Yeah, so where did the voice
I didn't say he was a bitter old man.
Another handicap thief.
Like my grandfather did when he lost his sight. He could still kind of see, but he had the glasses on, the cane, and the whole thing. And he would be very violent when he was moving with his cane. And if he would hit somebody in the leg, because my auntie would be like, "Daddy, watch out!" And he goes, "These motherfuckers, they can see I'm fucking blind. Move out the fucking way!" Whack, whack. He was that guy. She was like, "You gonna get us fucked up?" He was like, "Item A, get my pistol."
Yeah, and that was just.
Well, very few people are gonna actually sit and fight a blind dude, though. It sounds like you might. I don't know.
I'll fight a girl.
Yeah, her jazz got people.
House party.
Can't get what.
Yeah, I tell you what, though. Truth be told, the nostalgia old days, the stickiness orders, the nonchalantness of the theater attendants, people actually not getting in trouble for letting a 13-year-old into an R-rated we.
Oh my God! How about when they stopped me? They made me feel like a bad parent trying to take the baby. And me and the wife, we didn't have a babysitter, and they wouldn't let us bring the youngest into the theater because he was, you know. Yeah. And I was like, and I was doing the thing. Oh no, it's my kid. And they were like, no, it's my kid. And they're like, no, we won't allow it. I'm like, how are you going to tell me what's good for my kid? What he can see and what he's
good about your kid. It's about our theater rules. You're not letting them in.
I was like, okay, let me see this one. Yeah, it already started. Give me the ticket.
All right. I don't know if we talked about this, and we're definitely going to wrap it up now. But Kurt Kuwata actually ended up being the manager of a movie theater, the Solana Mall Cinema 6, for a couple of years. And I'll tell you what, it was a good job for him. It was a great job for his friends because I saw everything for free. And not only that, but we probably really did a bad showing of, I don't want to say our friendship, but just walking in. One day I walked in to go see Pulp Fiction for the 42nd time. I cut a line of people at the concession stand. I told the guy behind the counter to get me a bucket of popcorn, put nacho cheese on it, and put a hot dog on top of that. I brought in my own pitcher, and I reached behind to fill it up full of cherry Coke. All true.
Because I remember the concession stand was like, he called on the phone. He was like, "Curse, your friends are here, and they're taking all the stuff." And there was a little window, and I opened up the window and I put, "Give them what they want." I was doing inappropriate. I had got in trouble in that job. There was so many things that I did wrong. That's why
They remember some of you guys got discounted video games.
Oh man,
remember that?
Yeah,
especially when the new Nintendo came out and the Game Boy. Mm-hmm. Oh man, I had like 30% off as an employee.
Yes.
Yeah, I gave you guys, all you guys got.
We used to have an old joke that said that when you took a girl out on a date, when you were with the crew, you could do it for free.
Yes.
Because you could take your car, take it to Seven Flags Car Wash where Tommy worked, get your car washed for free. You can go to the Olive Garden where Ralphie worked and get a meal for free, and then you can go to the movie theater where Curtis worked and you can watch a movie for free.
Yeah.
Complete full service dating for the low price of nothing. And we were broke.
And you could look like a boss.
You could look like you was about something.
Yeah. They know me here. Let me.
Yeah, it's like Goodfellas walking into the restaurant.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Shaking hands.
You too. Always you too.
Yeah. Well, 4, Frank G, Ralphie D, Kuwata Kurt, and JB. I'm Ralphie D, and I'm saying, take it away, Kuwata.
Always remember that if we're going to have to live together, we're going to have to be able to play together. The more colors, the more better. Peace and love must rule each and every time. Love knows no boundaries, and bullets have no names. Peace.
That was better than anything Don Cornelius ever said.
Love, heat, and soul.
Adonis, pull yourself together.